Can I just add, there's one thing which I always learned does upset investors, is when you go to them and say the market is worth $1 trillion, and if we get only 0.5% of that market, I've heard that time and time again, that they really object to doing that.
Here's a question: why is it that entrepreneurs refuse to listen to advice, no matter how many times it's in? I'm the same. I will refuse to listen to all the advice that I read. I refuse to listen to people who tell me it takes 6 months to raise money, because I think I can do it in 6 days. I've never done it in once, but it does take time. But entrepreneurs will refuse to listen. Why do entrepreneurs keep saying this thing?
The reason is because you're an entrepreneur. Okay. And this is when I talk to people who are in full-time jobs that don't have an entrepreneurial spirit, and they want to know what's the difference between us and you. The difference is that when I race down, when I go into a race, I'm not looking at the hedges and the barriers and the problems. I just see a finishing line. I don't see the problems. Okay. When I get to the problem, I deal with it and I will hurdle it and I'll go on. Whereas others will probably think, well, you hear them, I don't want to start up a business because, well, I've got to raise money and then I've got to employ staff, and that's why we've got an HR department to do all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to have to, the problems of X, Y, Z, and they'll convince themselves of all the problems. Okay. My attitude is, it's not a problem until it's a problem. It doesn't mean I don't plan so that we don't have problems, but it means I'm not going to stop pursuing my dream, the object of what I'm trying to do, just because I think I'm going to come up with a hurdle and I'm not going to be able to surmount it. So I have to think.
You're not saying us entrepreneurs are disturbed individuals by any chance?
Well,
maybe you
probably. You heard it here first. certainly sounds like it.
Okay, just to kind of to wrap things up on that note, couple of things that you're looking for right now.
Yeah.
And a couple of individuals or people or companies which have been really useful, and possibly a couple of tools which you found really, really useful. Just to wrap things up.
Okay, well, at the moment, of course, we're looking for money. Okay. So we're looking for some pre-seed and seed investment.
Okay.
And that, as a business, as a new startup, we're always going to be looking for money at some point. There'll be some stage that we're always looking to find finance. Good people, always. As you're building up, you're looking to find the right people to employ, and of course, yes, you could start up a company and you could employ a recruitment agency.
In particular?
Well, really at this stage, I'm going to be looking for people to help me with more of the sales side of things. So it's a bit further down the line. Yeah. There'll be some customer service side to it, but it's all very small, low-level numbers at this stage, and we would literally probably pick those requirements as when they occur and find the people. But if I'm networking, and of course I do, and I'm talking to people all the time, as how I found Stephanie, then you're talking with them, you're relating to them, and because you get a good feedback and good connection, you end up normally
companies you use. Good accountants, good lawyers, good developers.
Well, I'm very fortunate in that I've, being on the wrong side of 40, I've been using the same accountant for many years. Okay. When it comes to the legal firm, Keystone are a very good firm. Okay. Who's a new and upcoming.
Shout out to William.
Yeah. Yes, William. And of course, most people will be familiar with Boot Law and Pinson Mason, who've taken over. So that's been very helpful. And with regards to all the opportunities to meet people, Meetup was a great starting block, because you're able to input what it is that interests you, and when you actually join a group, it will then also ask you why you joined, and then it will then try and network beyond that and find other groups for you to join. Okay. You can control that, of course. Sure. But it's that ability actually to keep on leaping forward and saying, this has been a good opportunity, and then I'm going to go out to another opportunity and meet more people, and you just spread your contacts.
Okay. Just to follow on from that, actually, one thing that I would say is that you should, if you have a good idea, go out there and talk to people about it. Don't hold it back. Don't make people sign non-disclosure agreements and things like
Sure.
that, but go out and talk to people.
Yeah.
Because the startup community, not just in London, but I've been to several European cities and to Ireland as well, and it's so helpful. People there are willing to help you out, they'll put you in touch, and people have done, have been through the process before,
Sure.
and they can help you out, but you have to trust them, and if you believe in your idea, then I guess get it out there.
Okay.
Can
Send it to him.
One other thing, obviously with the funding side, you've obviously, everyone's heard about crowdfunding, of course, which is just exploded. We are about to be placed on Seeders,
Okay.
which is SEEDRS. They're the first operation to be approved by the FSA.
Yeah.
So quite a spectacular achievement for them. And those who know of them, they of course are a competition award-winning company already.
Sure.
But what's great is that part of the process of actually trying to learn how to describe and explain and identify our product and our service, I entered as many competitions as I could, knowing really privately that I was never going to win these things, but actually it was forcing me to write down the answers.
Sure.
Coming to an interview like this is part of that process
Sure.
of actually putting yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Sure.
And having to go through it and learn from it and experience, and then you will be surprised that you will enter something, submit an application for something, and all that effort and work where you have not succeeded. So don't be scared of
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah.
Failure is an education, it's a lesson, and it's
Sure.
something that the Americans do very well and treat in a very different way to us in the UK. Failure is part of your learning process, and you learn from your failures, you learn from your successes, and we did just that, applied to put ourselves on Seeders, got on, and we'll be one of the first to be launched in a couple of weeks' time.
Sure. So just to wrap up on that note, thanks to Julian, Stephanie from Bubbles, and Mike, who's desperate to give you guys some money. And a few points I just wanted to round up on. Firstly, 6 months building out a prototype, you're going to need money for that. Secondly, start the funding process as soon as you can. In terms of tools, these guys have been using Hootsuite for Twitter and Facebook type management, outsource their development. They've got a good development company who they're happy to recommend, so get in touch with the guy. And also, if you're doing e-commerce and you've got any type of products out there and your website's not mobile optimized, get in touch with these guys again, because they need your products so that they can actually start building their service. The idea behind Digital Insight is about these guys helping you guys and you guys helping these guys. That's it. Thank you.